Hey everybody, Nolan here, and welcome to The Crew 2. I'm not gonna do a walkthrough of this, mainly because I've already beat the game, and I kinda have like $1.3 million. If you don't know, this is a racing game. This is the second, version of The Crew, obviously. Crew 2, that would make a lot of sense. I think this one's a lot better though than the first one, actually, but you can have your opinion if you played the first one. We're gonna just, we're just gonna drive around a little bit, I think. I'm not really sure what I'm gonna drive to yet. I'll probably drive from right here, which we're in Florida right now. If you don't know, this map is humongous. It goes from the entire United States. Obviously, it's a scaled down model a little bit. Excuse me, but it is the entire United States. Now I can zoom out here and actually show you real quick. So right now we're right next to the Florida Keys and right at the bottom of the Florida, next to the right south of Miami in the Everglades. If you zoom out, this is the entire map, and we're this little dot right down here. This is us, and that's the entire map. You got New York, you got Washington D.C., you got Chicago, you got San Francisco and Los Angeles, you got Seattle up here. Houston is down here somewhere. I think this is Houston right here. No, that's Dallas. Yeah, but you can see this is humongous. I think what we're gonna do, though, is I'm gonna drive from here. I think I'm gonna drive up to Chicago. It is gonna take a little bit, but we're gonna drive to Chicago, and we're gonna drive to... let's see, I think we're just going to drive somewhere in the middle, kind of. Not really anywhere specific. If I can find the baseball field for what's supposed to be, I guess, the Cubs Stadium, I'll do that. These look like some baseball fields. Yeah, these will work. This is the Chicago Cubs Stadium, totally. I'm probably going to drive a couple different things. I'm going to start out on my bike, though. Excuse me, gosh. I'm gonna start out on my bike because this is one of the only things I have maxed out. This is my BMW S2000, I think. It's pretty fast. It's got a horn. So we're gonna drive to Chicago. So we're going the wrong way, actually. I know I can pull some pretty insane wheelies on this thing too. I'm gonna drive in third person a little bit. I will drive in first person in a minute, just to kind of show you what that's like. But for now, I'm gonna drive in third person. Now, oh, hold on, I'm trying to turn my TV down because it's pretty loud. Yeah, this thing is really fast. So this thing just gets up and goes. The acceleration on this thing is insane too. Like if I stop here for a second, and I can do a burnout, and this thing goes 0 to 80 instantly. Just watch the speedometer. Instant 80 miles. I'm pretty much at 100 miles an hour in like. What is that, like 2 seconds? It's ridiculous. This thing tops out, I think, though. Oh, I missed my turn. I'm good at following directions, I swear. I wanted to see if I could get over that. Obviously, it didn't work. This thing tops out at like 190. Oh, I can get through there. Hold on. This thing tops out at like 194, 195, somewhere in that area. It's pretty fast. That's not even using nitrous. With nitrous, I can get this thing up to like, just over 200 miles an hour, so it's pretty crazy. But, yeah, this map is just humongous. Like, honestly, I love this game so much. It's a lot of fun, especially if you, play the story. It does take a while, though. It is a really long story mode. It takes quite a bit of time. I can't even see my map. I don't even know if I'm going the right way anymore. Yeah, I am. Alright, we're gonna jump into first person real quick, just so you can see that's like, this thing is just ridiculous. You really feel like you're going a lot fast, like really fast too, You really feel like you're going 100 miles an hour when you're going 100 miles an hour. It's just, this thing goes, man. I do have quite a few cars. I have a Ferrari, I have a Mustang, I have, like a drift car, I have another bike actually, I have 2 bikes. And I have $1.3 million right now, and I was actually... Oh, I died. I'm dead. No, I'm not. I'm alive. I'm planning on saving up for the most expensive car in the game, which is the Koenigsegg R, I believe. It's 1.7 million, so it's pretty, yeah, it's pretty expensive. Now, there's one race in this game that I do a bunch, and to get a bunch of money, and I'll actually show you really quickly. If we pause this real quick, we can jump, yeah, you can see up in the top right, I have 1.3 million. If you jump over here to activities, and you go to your street racing, and jump over to street race, if you scroll over to the strip west, I've done this thing so many times. I am actually, if you go to top players, I don't know, if you go to, sorry, I'm number 17 in the world for the fastest time on this race. At one point, I was number 11, but I haven't, you know, I haven't played this game in probably about a week now. So, you know, obviously people have, and I got that record, like, probably a week and a half, 2 weeks ago. So, obviously people have had time to beat me, but, yeah, I'm number 17 in the world. Behind this guy who got a 2 minutes and 8 seconds, which I don't know how in the world you get that, because I got 2 minutes and 17, so I'm like almost, you know, 10 seconds behind that guy. But yeah, but it's a pretty short race, and if you do it on hard mode, it gives you about $20,000 every single time you would do it, and it's that's how I get most of my money. We're probably going to switch over to a... Wait. Oh, I died. Where did my marker go? It's not telling me where to go anymore. Oh, well, I'm just going to keep going straight. No, I can't really pretty far in this thing. Oh, as I die. That's not embarrassing at all. Yeah, I can do... my longest wheelie on this thing is like 1,400 yards. So, you know... I know, I like bikes in this game. They're really fun. They're just so easy to turn, and they're fast, and they're fun to drive. That's a school bus. I haven't seen those before. Now, I can actually fly, like, you know, I can just do this right here, and just boom, I'm an airplane. Like, that's pretty ridiculous. And now I can just do spins. I can even turn on this, the smoke or whatever. And if I want to, I can go straight back to a bike. Just boom on the bike again. I can even do that for boats. If I'm over water, I can just click that and turn into a boat and drive in water. Actually, I might do that for a minute when we, you know, get a little further in the trip. I'm probably not gonna fly a whole lot because flying is kind of boring to me. Plus, it just makes the trip like super short, and it, you know, it's not fun. So I'm probably gonna switch over to a boat here in a second. If I can find some water, I'll probably drive over here real quick. Those are trees. And then boat. I just leveled up. That's cool. And now we're a boat and we're in the water. So boats are pretty fun too. I mean, if you get on some rough waters, you bounce around a bunch, and they're pretty fun to drive. They can get up to pretty high speeds too. Mine's not very. I don't have a whole lot of upgrades on mine. And so mine's not going to be very fast, but these things can probably get to about 180 if you max them out, which I haven't done. I guess we're going to go back on land now, because I don't even know if I can get around this. Yeah, I think I can actually. Oh, we're going to go this way. Actually, no, we can't, so we're gonna go back into a bike here right now. And it just killed me, because I was in the water. Okay. Well, I'm actually going to switch I'm going to switch vehicles real quick. That's the wrong button. We're gonna switch over probably to... We're gonna switch to my Mustang, just because this is my first car that I owned, and probably my favorite car. This thing... I love the sound of this thing. It sounds mean. I got it all blacked out just because it looks cool, I guess. Apparently there's a live reward near me too. I'm not gonna go grab it though, because what's the point? I don't need it anyways. Now this thing is pretty fast once I get on some asphalt, so I'm on dirt right now, so it's not gonna be very fast, but there we go. It's pretty fast now. Yeah, this thing was my first car, and probably my favorite car still. Just because I want, this is the exact car that I want in real life. This is my favorite car in real life too. But I also have a Ferrari. I'll probably bring that out in a little bit and drive that around. That thing's fun to drive. But, yeah, so, real quick, plan for the channel, if you don't know, I do plan on actually having someone edit my videos pretty soon. Shout out to my boy Avery, if you're watching this. Hi. He's gonna probably edit my videos for me, you know, make it a lot easier on me. Plus, he has better editing software, so he'll be able to do a lot better with it, and do more with my, oh wow, Jesus Christ, do more with the, you know, my videos. But yeah, and that's pretty much the only thing I wanted to talk about. Now there is deformation in this game, like you can see my front bumper like dented there a little bit, but it's actually gonna go back because over time all this stuff like heals itself basically. So if you watch long enough, you'll see the paint just come back like it just did, and everything looks normal again. So you don't just drive around with a broken car. So that's pretty cool. You can also use nitrous in this thing. It goes pretty fast. Now, I have driven across the country from like one side to the other, and it takes about an hour to drive cross country. So that just gives you an idea of how big this map is. And that's in like a fast car. Like you could go about, you know, you could be going like 190 the entire time, just about, and it'll still take you about an hour. So, you know, that just gives you an idea of how big this map is. It's freaking huge. If you fly across, I'm not sure. It'd probably take you 45 minutes or so if you flew. But yeah, it's ridiculous to do. Ooh, tight turn. I didn't see this. But this is kind of fun, you know, just road trips. Like in real life, I hate road trips, for being honest, because I hate being in the car really like that for that long, and I hate the you know, feeling cramped or whatever. Oh, I'm gonna die. But in the game, it's kind of fun to drive, especially if you drive slow and take in the scenery. But I'm just kind of going fast because that's what I like to do. I like to drive fast. I want to go fast. Talladega Nights. That was a deer. There is wildlife in this game. You can find bears and deers and I'm not sure if there's fish, but I do know there's like deer. There's moose. There's bears. That's a train. Oh, it's right there. Okay, that scared me. So like, there's trains too. Apparently, I didn't know that. I didn't know there were trains in the game. Also, I could drive like a person if I wanted to. I could stay in the right lane, not pass this car because of double yellow lines, but that's not fun, so we're going to pass him. And drift around the corner like a maniac. So, now we're on the highway. This is where I get to just go super fast, top speed. This thing, I think this thing actually goes over 200. Yeah, it does. This thing's pretty fast. I had this thing maxed out too, so all the upgrades on this thing. So that's probably why it's so fast. Because starting out, it's obviously not gonna be this fast when you start out. It's gonna be, you know, like I don't know. You're gonna max out at like 180 probably. I'm probably gonna drive this thing for a few more miles, and I'll switch over to a different thing. Probably the Ferrari. Did I miss a turn? Oh no, I'm right here. This is why I can't drive in real life without directions, because I don't know where I'm going. And I don't pay attention to directions enough, I guess. What else to talk about? You know, the campaign in this game is really confusing. I'm not gonna lie. I didn't understand what was going on, honestly. And like, obviously, you know, yeah, it's just, you know, you're a small little driver trying to work your way up through the ranks to become one of the best drivers in the country. And I understand that part, but like, the story doesn't flow too well. I mean, it does flow better if you actually like do if you do the events like they're supposed to in order, which I didn't do that. So that probably explains why I didn't. Jesus Christ, I died again. Probably explains why I didn't understand the story too well. But yeah, it was just kind of all over the place when I played, but it was still fun. I still enjoyed it. It was really long though. I think it took me like a week and a half of playing this game every day for a couple hours to beat it. So it's a pretty long game. Ow. That probably, yep, that screwed the entire paint job on this thing up. You know, you would think there's actually quite a few landmarks in this game though. Like you can actually go find the Pentagon. You can go, the St. Louis Arch is in this game. Oh, I'm gonna miss my turn. I think you can find, let's see, what else is in here? I know Nashville is in here, but it's not very big. I live near Nashville, that's why I brought that up. Oh god, I'm gonna kill myself again. I'm gonna switch cars real quick, actually. I'm gonna pull over here to the side of the road and switch. But what else is in this game? I know New York is in here, like the airport in New York and everything's in here. Oh, I have a McLaren too. Do I want to drive the McLaren or the Ferrari? I think I'm actually gonna drive the Ferrari because I like the Ferrari better. I think Times Square is in this game. I haven't actually checked, but I'm pretty sure it's in here. Yeah, there's a bunch of, the pier in Los Angeles, I think is where, yeah, Los Angeles, that's in this game. So, you know, there's a bunch of monuments in here you can go look at. Now, these are fun because these cars grip super nice. I'm gonna die. I'm fine. You know, you could take corners ridiculously high speed, and it's really fun. Just, you don't even have to slow down, you can just floor it and go. They also, this thing can get up to like 215, I think, somewhere in that area. With nitrous, obviously. Go. We're only 16 miles. See, yeah. See, like, from Florida to Chicago, it only... Oh, I missed my turn. We're gonna go this way now. From Florida to Chicago, it's only, like, it was just under 40 miles, I think, or about 40 miles. So, technically speaking, it's not obviously not very accurate. But, I mean, you can't actually have a game that big where it takes you legitimately like 8 hours to drive from Florida to Chicago or however long it takes you. I think that's probably more like a 12-hour drive, honestly. But like, you know, you can't do that. That's ridiculous. So obviously they're gonna have to tone it down a little bit, but it is still really big. You know, 40 miles in this game still takes a while. You know, we've been driving for I don't even know how long at this point. And we're just now like, you know, 3/4 of the way there about. So it is it's still pretty big. Now, another thing with this game is there's a lot of different vehicles in this game. You can get boats, you can get planes, you can get cars, or you can get bikes, you can get dirt bikes, there's monster trucks, there's, I have another car I want to show you guys, actually. If you've ever heard, wow, I can't speak. If you've ever heard of F1, which is a professional European, the professional European racing car. They're meant for extremely high speeds and extremely tight corners. It's also known as Formula Racing. You can have those cars in this game. I was trying to get some ear when I was off the road. You know, there's a bunch of different type of boats. There's like jet sprint boats, which are like really fast boats and meant for like tight turns. And they're really small boats. And then you have, I'm gonna switch over actually real quickly. There's a bunch of different type of planes. You can get like race planes, and you can get like stunt planes, and obviously there's off-road vehicles. Like I can have this buggy, and there's this truck, and there's a dirt bike. You know, that's a rally car, my Nissan Fairlady. This car also, I'm gonna probably finish off the video with this thing because this car is like my second favorite car in the entire world. But they're like $1.3 million, and I'll probably never own one because there's only like 24 of them in the entire world. But that's besides the point. I like this car too. That's one of my favorites. But this is my Batmobile, my F1 car. Top speed of 222 miles an hour. This thing is really fast. These are the European cars that they drive in the professional European racing. Extremely short gears, meant for super high speeds and tight corners. That's why in acceleration, hence the short gears. So when you come out of corners, you can just go and not have to take a bunch of time to get to top speed. Extremely high downforce, making it where you can take corners super tight. So these cars are just excel at they excel at just going fast and taking tight corners, making them really fun to drive. Now they suck in the grass, obviously. You know, they don't do well in grass because they're meant for the tarmac or the asphalt. I mean, whatever, same thing. But yeah, this is another car you can get in the game. Now you can also get touring car, which is basically another European thing, if I'm not mistaken. That's taking regular cars and turning them into super high performance like circuit racing cars, like basically like the Shelby I showed you and the Vulcan, the 24 or the $1.3 million car. That's also a touring car. You know, it's meant for the circuit racing. You know, so you can also see this car is just ridiculously fast. I used my nitrous right there. Got to like 240. So just so fast. Just insanely fast car. Taking these corners like it's nothing. Just nitrous and you're gone. So much fun to drive. Although if you die like that, you know, it's not good either. I think we are actually in the bottom part of Chicago right now. I've never been to Chicago. Well, actually, no. Yeah, I've never been to Chicago. I don't think, unless I went as like a baby. That was like a super like infant child thing. So this game obviously helps give me an idea of what Chicago's like. And I went off the road because I wasn't paying attention. I'm gonna switch over to my other car here in a second. I'm gonna do one final run, see how fast I can get this thing up to. 230 about. Alright. We're gonna switch over real quick. We're gonna pull over. Switch over to that last car and we'll finish out with driving that car for the rest of the way. So, obviously there's so many more things I can do in this game. I could, you know, instead of taking like a road trip, I could go off-road and I could, you know, I have off-road cars. I could, you know, get in a boat and, you know, drive on the water from one place to another. I could fly across the country or something. I could drive the bike the whole way across, you know, or I could drive my bike the whole time from somewhere to another place. I have dirt bikes. I have a monster truck, so if you want, I could go to a, they have stadiums in this game where you can take monster trucks and do a bunch of tricks with them. Or I could do that on a dirt bike too. I could do, you know, there's a bunch of different things I can do in this game, so let me know down below in the comment section, you know, what you want to see from this game, or if you want to see different games, what game you want to see, because I have a collection of games. I have Black Ops, Fortnite, this, I have Dead by Daylight, I have The Binding of Isaac, I have GTA 5, I have, let's see, what else do I have? I have MLB The Show, I have Madden 18, I'm gonna buy Black Ops 4 and Madden 19, so I can make videos on those too if you want. I have, yeah, I'm trying to think of one more game I could suggest. Oh, don't do that. I don't know where I'm going now. What's one more game that I have? Oh, I have Rocket League. That's a car soccer game. I could play that if you guys want. You just gotta let me know down below and tell me what you want to see. Where am I going? Am I going left or right? Left. Oh, we've only got less than a mile in this road trip here. I really hope this is enjoyable. I thought it was fun. Just talking to you guys, you know, uncut. Me wrecking into walls and dying. You know, I mean, now it's snowing. There's also weather in this game. It snows, it rains, and when it snows, it gets this. Actually, even when it rains, the ground gets super slippery. But here we are at the baseball field. And you can see the snow getting on the car, just looks so good. There's even a photo mode I can actually show you really quickly before we go. What photo mode does Now this is insane. This is ridiculous because in photo mode, it pauses the game, but you're in an online server with other players, so technically the game never pauses, but it pauses the game right where you are, and every little snowflake, everything just pauses right in place, and you could just take nice pictures of your torn up car because you hit something. Like, you know, take a nice picture before I leave for the thumbnail, right? So what I can do is I can do that, and if I can mess with a bunch of different settings too. So if I want to, I can go to settings, zoom in or out. I think that's a good amount of zoom. I can turn tilt on. I could do, you know, mud on vehicle, none. I can turn the damage off, so it's a perfectly, you know, perfect vehicle. Turn the driver on and off, headlights, you know, just a bunch of different stuff. I could turn traffic off behind me if I wanted to. I'm gonna leave that on though, I think. I can also change the weather. So it was snowing a second ago, so if I want, I'm gonna turn the snow back on because I think the snow looks really pretty. We're gonna turn that back on. You can change the time of day, so if I wanted to. I think I kind of like this though. It's like a right before sundown, but it's like not super dark outside, so you still get to see everything. I could turn the exposure up and down. I think the exposure could go up for this, and then the brightness could go up a little bit. Saturation could probably be cooler because it's a cooler photo. I'm trying to talk like I know what I'm talking about. Honestly, I have no idea what I'm talking about. I can turn the focus blur on, motion blur. There's a bunch of different stuff in this. So I can turn the style into night vision. It's pretty cool. But let's go ahead and take our picture here so I can actually hide the UI and then make this a nice picture. So we're gonna go ahead and take the picture here. So just like that. And there you go. So that was it. That was our road trip here in the Crew 2. Let me know if you want to see more. I could definitely do more road trips. I could do drifting. I have a drift car. I have a drag race car. I have bikes, you know. I have a bunch of different stuff. I could fly across America. I could, you know, drive on water. I could drive from like Seattle all the way down to like the bottom of California. You know, there's a bunch of different things I can do with this. So let me know down below what you want to see. Don't forget to like and subscribe for more content like this and better content in the near future. I appreciate everybody watching this, and I will talk to you guys later. Bye.